Okay, guys. Yesterday we have started with that is cloud platform providers, guys. Okay, let us start our discussion with this one. Okay. Okay. In this session, we are going to discuss about the who are the different cloud providers, guys. Normally, guys, the cloud providers are normally from the public cloud. Means the cloud that is shared by the all the users. The cloud is shared by the all the users, guys. Okay. Normal the users are like end users,
సార్
administrators. Uh,
మీ
Samira, madam.
వాయిస్ మీ వాయిస్ కొంచెం లోగా ఉంది. మరి మిగతా పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ కి ఎలా ఉందో తెలియదు, ఒకసారి చూడండి.
అమ్మా వినపడుతుందా? మీకు క్లారిటీగానే ఉందా?
బానే
సార్
ఉంది సార్.
బానే ఉందా?
ఓకే ఓకే సార్, ప్రాబ్లం నా ఎండ్ అయి
ఓకే.
ఉంటది.
శ్యామ్
కంటిన్యూ
శ్యామ్
సారీ.
ఫైన్. శ్యామ్ జాయిన్ అయ్యాడా?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, Shyam. Shyam, fine. My voice is fine to you?
Fine, sir.
Okay, super, right. Okay, guys. Cloud providers, guys, means the different cloud providers are there. Normally, these cloud providers will comes under public cloud, guys. The public cloud means we already discussed, guys. Public cloud means that is shared by the all the users. That is shared by the all the users, guys. Right, the users of this cloud are normally administrators, software vendors, and the end users, all who are ordering these cloud services, guys. Okay, these are the different users of the cloud: administrators, software vendors, and end users. Right, guys. Okay, the coming to the who are the different cloud providers, guys. The best one is the giant in cloud computing is Amazon Web Services. We call them as AWS, guys. This is the most popular cloud computing provider, guys. Provides all the services A to Z in the cloud computing. Okay, the cloud computing is started by the cloud this Amazon, guys. That is why now in 2020 it is the giant in the cloud computing. The next one is Microsoft Azure, guys. Okay, Azure is the cloud provider. Okay, particularly it will provide platform as a service, guys. What is meant by platform means it will provide the complete A to Z, that is software as a service as well as infrastructure as a service. Both will be provided in the with the help of this Azure. Okay, with the help of this one, we are able to develop applications. Okay, it will provide the software for that one, it will provide the hardware related to that one also. Okay, it is the best in the cloud computing service providers, guys. Mainly it will provide platform as a service, guys. Okay, the next one is Google Cloud, guys. It is a powerful one. Okay, it's related to the Google, like we are using the different services like YouTube, Gmail, okay, Google Drive, all this comes under this Google Cloud, guys. Okay, it's a powerful one, guys. Powerful alternative for the remaining things. It is also giving right. The next one is IBM Cloud, guys. If you this is cloud from the IBM service. Okay, if you the price is the main criteria, then you can go for this IBM Cloud, guys. It will provide the services with a reasonable prices, guys. Okay, the next one is Oracle one. Okay, the cloud related to the Oracle is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Okay, it is also provide the huge services for the users, guys. Okay, right. This we have discussed. Just recapping, guys. Okay. The next one is providers and the services users. Okay, who are the using those services? What are the services provided? Okay, this slide will gives the explanation for that one, guys. Okay, here application providers at SaaS level. For that one, the users are individual users, guys. SaaS means software as a service. It will provide the software as a service things. Okay, right. If you want any application from rental basis, we can go for that. Users are individual users, guys. The next one is infrastructure as a service and PaaS. Means infrastructure means hardware parts for rental basis from the cloud. Platform as a service means it's related to the platform, that is complete thing, that is software as well as hardware, it will be provided. For that, the users are business organizations. Different business organizations can use these services from, like if they want any infrastructure facility, for suppose they need a server capabilities, then they can go for this IaaS. Okay, right. The next one is IaaS provider provides compute means processing capabilities, storage capabilities, communication means charting communication medium. For those resources, okay, different users are application and organizational users. Okay, these are the users, these services like storage capabilities, they can use this application or organizational users. Communication resources, these application and organizational users can use these things. Likewise, the platform providers, okay, for that infrastructure service and organizational users are the users for these services, guys, right? The next one is let us discuss the giant, that is Amazon Web Services, guys. Let us discuss this one related to this one. Okay, hi. If you went for the Amazon Web Service, if you went for any service from the Amazon, okay, that is well documented, guys. By using that documentation, we can proceed. Okay, right? By following those documentation, we can use those Amazon services, guys. Sorry. Okay. The next one is here in this Amazon Web Services. Here, the smooth integration will be there. If you want to connect to any service, that can be easily we can done with the help of this Amazon Web Services interface is there, right? Okay, by using that one, we can integrate our user with the services and that is there in the Amazon, guys. Okay, it provides the different widespread tools, guys. And okay, by using that one, we can utilize the different services from the Amazon Web Services, guys. AWS. Okay, and moreover that this is a cost effective one, guys. For suppose if you want to purchase any server, it costs lakhs, but if you went for the servers from the Amazon Web Service or any cloud, you can get it for the less price, guys. That is why it's a cost effective one moreover that, guys, it is a daily rental basis. Okay, how many days you can use, for those days only you can pay. On hourly basis services also there from this Amazon Web Services, guys. For suppose you have used only 12 hours, only 12, for the 12 hours only they will charge, nothing they will charge more than that one, guys. Okay, and moreover that it is a highly scalable, guys. Scalable means you can increase or you can decrease the services. For suppose I need at one point of time my application running on one server, at that time that server services is not at all sufficient. Okay, at that time you can increase that services with the help of this Amazon Web Services, that we call them as a scalable. Likewise, increasing, we can reduce the services also. For suppose anytime we need the service server capabilities are more for you, at that time we can reduce those server capabilities also. That way it's called highly scalable at any point of time. And moreover that it is highly available. What is this by availability means? Every time the application should be up. Okay, for suppose I'm developing an application with the help of Amazon Web Services. Okay, I have done 90% of my work, that will be there in the for suppose in the Amazon Web Services. Okay, if any natural calamity or disaster happens, okay, then they will maintain the duplicate contents, guys. They will maintain duplicate content. For suppose the same server content will be located in another different geographical locations also. If anything happened to this location, then it automatically connect to the another server that is in the different geographical location. Then no information will be lost, and once again the application will be up, guys. Okay, we can work with that application, guys, at any time. These are the different building blocks of the AWS, guys. We call them as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, EC2. Okay, we call them as a virtual machine, or we can say that it's an instance. We call them in Amazon Web Services point of view. This EC2 we call them as a instance, guys. Okay, the next one is simple storage service, S3. We call them as for storage things. We go for this S3, guys. The next one is EBS. Okay, Elastic Block Storage. That is related to storage, guys. And the next one is SQS. It's related to the communication thing. For charting things, we can use this SQS service from the Amazon Web Services. These are the main services, the main building blocks of AWS. Okay, EC2 means it's a virtual machine. S2 and EBS are related to the storage. The third one is SQS, means it's related to communication, that is starting like that applications. Okay, let us go deeper into these the four things. Those are the building blocks of AWS. Okay, let us start our discussion with EC2, guys. EC2 is nothing but it's a virtual machine, guys. Just you can remember that one. What is meant by EC2? It's like our normal PC. If you want to any capabilities, okay, work with one project. Okay, you need some processor capabilities for suppose, and storage and RAM, these things. Okay, for all the things that will be provided in the form of virtual machine, guys, if you went for EC2 in the Amazon Web Services. Okay, like it's like a normal PC. We call them in the point of cloud computing, we can say that it's a virtual machine or instance. Okay, right. The next one is simple storage service. For storage is, and EBS also related to storage. Okay, Elastic Block Storage. Okay, the next one is SQS, means it's related to the communication things. Okay, so let us discuss these things. Okay, the first one is EC2. What is meant by EC2, guys? Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud EC2 is a part of Amazon.com, guys. Okay, Amazon.com, it will provide the different services, guys. Okay, different services. Storage, if you want, you can provide. Okay, processing capabilities, if you want, Amazon Web Services will provide. Networking capabilities, it will provide. Database, okay, or data protection, everything will be provided in the Amazon.com. Okay, right, guys, is one of the cloud computing platform. We all know that one. Okay, here we can rent a virtual machine with the help of this EC2, guys. We can take from the Amazon Web Services. If you want any virtual computer, then we have to go for this EC2, guys. It's like our own computer. It's like our own, but that is virtualized, guys. Physically, it won't exist with you, but it will use the services as it is that there in your local system, guys. Okay, so like a virtual machine, guys. What are the virtual machine means? Okay, that is not there with you, but it will use the services as it is like your one PC. Okay, for that, guys, Amazon Web Services uses Amazon Machine Image. What it will provide, guys? Amazon Machine Image. By using this one, we are able to create the virtual machines. Okay, by configuring this Amazon Machine Image, okay, by configuring this one, we are able to create a virtual machine that we call them in the point of Amazon is we call them as a instance, guys. Instant. EC2 means it's an instance of computer. It's an instance of computer. We call them as in the cloud computing point of view, we call them as a virtual machine, guys. We call them as a virtual machine. Okay, with the help of this, guys, EC2, we are able to create, launch, or terminate a server instance or computer instance. Okay, with the help of this one, the user is able to create and launch that server, or you can terminate the server instance with the help of this EC2. With the help of EC2, guys. It's like a normal virtual computer, guys. EC2, that's nothing but. Okay, how we are able to create with the help of Amazon Machine Image. With the help of Amazon Machine Image, we are able to create this one. We call them as an instance, guys. Okay, and one more thing, guys, the advantage related to EC2 is that at any point of time, okay, it's a scalable. At any point of time, we can increase the storage things, or we can increase the processing capabilities, anything. It's a scalable thing, scalable deployment, guys. Any point of view time, we can increase those services, right? For suppose I'm using one processor for this much of speed. Okay, at one point of time in my application development, that is not at all sufficient. We have to increase. Then with the help of this EC2, we are able to increase our services, guys. Okay, we can get the processor with high speed also. Okay, it's a scalable thing, guys. Now you can understand what is EC2, right? Okay, it's a virtual machine or instance. It's like a normal one our computer. What is the computer it's doing? The same things we can do with the help of EC2 also, but that is a virtualized thing, guys. Okay, guys, these EC2, guys, we can create these EC2 at any location. If you want to create, for suppose you are in Dubai. Okay, from Dubai, the nearest location is for suppose German. German is in German. Amazon is having some server location data center. From that one, we can create that one. For suppose I'm in Dubai. Okay, my company is in Dubai, but my own location is India. Okay, from Dubai also we can create a virtual machines that is EC2 from India also. We will have a complete control over this geographical location, guys. At anywhere, if you want to create, you can create. Particularly, guys, Amazon Web Services, okay, spread all over the world, guys. The data centers will be in the all over the world. Okay, if you are in Europe, they will have this data center in the Europe. Okay, and America, they will have data center, and East Africa, they will have the data center. Likewise, it is spread. Amazon Web Service data centers will be spread all over the world. At any location, if you want to create this EC2 means you can create. We will have the complete control or to create the EC2 in different geographical locations, guys. Okay, right. One more advantage related to this one, it will provide latency optimization, guys. Latency optimization. For suppose data transfer between the source to destination will be optimized. Okay, optimized. Okay, with the less amount of time, the send from the data, the interaction between the user and the cloud will be happen. Okay, here the source means the cloud provider. Okay, user destination means users. It will change accordingly. If you are sending the information from the source to the user to cloud means you are the user is the cloud user. Suppose I am the user at that source will be I am. The destination will be cloud. Okay, the sending communication between this one, the data sending between the source to destination also will be ready optimized with the help of this EC2 guys. And one more thing guys, I told you already. Okay, the EC2 it will provide Amazon or any cloud provider guys, it will duplicate the content. They provide the duplicate the content means for suppose one data center, the duplicated content will be on location, another original location, another data will be in the another data center location. For suppose anything happened to the one data center, then it automatically connected to the another data center. The application data will be every time it will be secure. If you lost the one server also, we will be able to connect to the other server, and then we are able to get the application data at any point of time. That is the redundancy they are maintaining. Likewise in here EC2 also they are maintaining that redundancy guys. Okay, normally guys before 2010 November, okay, Amazon and their product and services will be in different locations with the, but after this one EC2 come into picture, okay, all the Amazon services, okay, all the Amazon related things stuff will be shifted to the EC2 guys. For suppose Amazon.com, Amazon.in, okay, those different services from the Amazon, okay, those will be shifted to the EC2. With the help of this EC2 they are able to launch a web application. Okay, they are able to develop application. They can do different things. Okay, right, in that applications are their Amazon web services application will be shifted to EC2. It's like a normal instance of computer that we call them as a virtual machine. By using virtual machine they are able to deploy the application. Okay, and they can use that application also. Okay, after the 2010 every application of the Amazon will be shifted to EC2 guys, right? Okay, guys, I told you they are providing these EC2s for less cost. Okay, here are the different uh, CPU instances. This is the first one, that is one virtual core with one EC2 computing unit, guys. One EC2, one virtual machine. Okay, one PC with one virtual PC. Okay, that will be that is having a RAM capability of 1.7 GB and a hard disk capability of 170 GB. For that we can get it for per hourly basis we can get it for $0.085 guys, very less amount. Okay, for a year it costs around $490 per year. Okay, it's very less cost guys. Okay, likewise for some large type of computers, okay, for suppose it will having two virtual cores with two CEC2, two virtual instances. For that it's cost around per hourly $0.34 guys. Okay, likewise for extra large computers it costs around 0.68 guys, right? It's a very less price. Okay, we can get these EC2s for very less price also. Okay, let us glance on this one guys. Okay, for nano instance of this virtual machine, okay, as per April 2018 they charge around $0.0058 per hour guys. For monthly it takes only less, very less, that is $4. It's around 300 rupees, or if you convert that one to rupees, 300 rupees per month guys for nano instance. Okay, that virtual machine running on the Linux or Windows operating systems guys. If you take this nano instance, okay, that is a virtual machine guys that will runs on Linux and Windows. Okay, as per the 2018 April records, okay, the cost is around 0.0058 hours per dollar, right? Very less amount we can get it from this one guys. And the next one is guys the VPN, okay, virtual private network. We already discussed this one. What's a private network? To connect private cloud we use this virtual private network, okay, VPN. Okay, and elastic block storage. Okay, elastic block storage, these we use it for recovery from the failure guys. recovery from failure. Okay, anything happen, any disaster happens, this will comes into picture. They will, okay, for suppose I'm working in a Chennai cloud location, my duplicate content is also there in the Delhi data center of the same cloud. Okay, if anything happened, then the recovery module will be come into picture. It uses virtual private network and elastic block storage to recover from that situation. Okay, and my application will be runs now in the Delhi. Previously in Chennai, okay, some disaster happened, and with the help of this virtual private network and elastic block storage, my application will be connected to the Delhi cloud. Now my application is active now. No loss of information, nothing is there. Okay, with a less amount of downtime, we are able to connect to the another data center with the help of this VPN and elastic block storage. Okay, what is meant by is this elastic block storage, EBS, guys, right? And one more thing, guys, if you went for the Amazon Web Services, it's a highly reliable and secure one. Okay, you can trust this one. If you want to place this any cloud application in the cloud, we can trust this Amazon Web Services, guys. Okay, they're having a 16 years of industry in the cloud computing. We can trust this one, Amazon Web Services, and moreover, this highly scalable, guys. It is a highly scalable infrastructure services. Means at any point of time, you can increase the resources at any scale. They have the capability to provide those infrastructure capabilities at any point of time. That is why it's called as highly scalable infrastructure service. Highly scalable. Okay. Okay. You can increase the size to any extent. They can provide that, guys. Okay. That is why it is in the giant in the Amazon Web Services. Most trusted one till now, till date. This Amazon Web Services. Right, guys? Okay, let us resume, guys. Okay, now till now we have discussed only EC2, guys. So there are different blocks are there. Okay, in the AWS, that is S3 and EBS and SQS. Let us discuss these things also. Okay, this S3 means that is one of the service that is provided from Amazon Web Services, guys. The full form is Simple Storage Service, guys. Okay, it uses object-oriented storage service, guys. If you want to save the information in this S3, that will be saved in the form of object-oriented, right? Okay, like data and functions, they will separate those things. Okay, right? It facilitates with object-oriented storage services, guys. Anything you want to store, that will uses this object-oriented storage service, right? Okay, anything that will be saved in the S3 in the form of object-oriented way. Okay, this is one of the building block of Amazon Web Services. The next one is EBS. Okay, elastic block storage, guys. Okay, it uses, guys, block storage interface to users. Okay, this EBS, it will provide the block storage interface to users, guys. Okay, for suppose you are using the EC2, internally it uses EBS. Already previous slide I explained you guys. This uses this EBS service for recovery from the failure. Which one? EC2. Okay, that is why this point comes into picture. The internally the EC2 uses this EBS facility. Okay, EBS facility will be used by this EC2, guys. Okay, right? The next one is SQS, guys. Okay, this is used for the messaging passing between the source and the destination. For communication, it uses simple queue service, guys. Okay, here it is a reliable one and secure one. It provide this service reliable. If you are, for suppose you are passing information from one source to the another destination. Okay, at the data will be sent from the source to destination in a secured way, guys. We can trust this one. Okay, if you went for this SQS service, okay, we can trust this one. The information cannot be stolen at all. Okay, it cannot be attacked by anything. Okay, if you use this SQS service. Okay, this one, by using this one, we are able to send the messages between the source and the destination. So like a communication channel. Okay, SQS. This is also one of the building block of Amazon Web Services. Right? For communication, we use this SQS. Okay, for storage, EBS. S3 also used for the storage, but particularly it uses object-oriented storage service, guys. Okay, EC2 means virtual machine. That is the instance. Okay, like a normal PC. If you want to get it from the cloud, you have to go for the EC2. Internally, EC2 uses this EBS service for recovering from the failure, guys. Right? These are the four building. What are the different blocks we have discussed till now from the Amazon Web Services, guys? First we have discussed EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. The second one is simple storage service, storage related one. It is just object oriented storage. Next one is EBS, guys. Okay, Elastic Block Storage. Elastic Block Storage. Okay, they don't internally EC2 uses this EBS, guys, service. Okay, the next one is simple queuing service for communication between the source and destination. Message passing between the source and destination, we use this. Yes, this is a trusted one. Okay, we can rely on this service, guys. These are the four building blocks. There are different services are there from the Amazon Web Services. These are the main building blocks of the Amazon Web Services, guys. Okay, clear, right? Have a glance on this one. Till now we have discussed about Amazon Web Services, guys. That is one of the cloud provider, guys. That is the giant in the cloud company. A lot of people are using this Amazon Web Services. The next one is Google Cloud Platform, guys. Let us discuss the second one, that is Cloud Platform. Google Platform. Okay, guys. Okay. GCP, nothing but Global Cloud Platform, guys. This is the from the Google. Okay. Okay, anything if you want to use this Google Cloud, okay, that will be internally the storage. For suppose if you are using storage as a service, okay, that will be saved in the Google servers, guys. Okay, that is used by this Gmail, Google search engine, YouTube, and five different Google services. Okay, for these services, what is the storage that is used by the Google servers? Okay, the same storage we can use it for our application development also. Okay, right? Okay, normally, guys, the Gmail, normally we use this different services freely. That is a Gmail, that is a communication one, and storing also we have that we can do with the help of this Gmail. And in addition to this one, guys, okay, we will have the different services that is provided from the Google platform, like Google Photos is there, Google Calendar is there. Okay, YouTube is also one of the service from the Google. Okay, all these are the different services that is provided from the Google. For that, there is some internal storage, the same storage. Okay, for suppose if I want to develop an application with the help of Google Cloud, the same storage, the same place, where these Google different services will be saved and applications are saved. Okay, there only my application will also be saved. Okay, right? These are maintained and managed by this Google, guys. These are maintained and managed by the Google. Proceed. Okay. The main thing we have to discuss here in the Google Cloud Platform is that is Google App Engine, guys. Okay, Google App Engine. It's a platform as a service. Okay, it is a platform as a service. What is meant by platform as a service, guys? Platform as a service, nothing but it will provide the overall thing. For suppose I'm a application developer. For suppose I went for the Google App Engine, okay, cloud facility. Then the things for the application development like software, it will provide, and the hardware also it will provide, guys. Complete everything. That we call them as a platform as a service, guys. The programmer can concentrate only on the program writing. No need to worry about the hardware parts. No need to worry about the software things. Those things will be completely provided by the cloud itself. For suppose if you went for this Google App Engine for application development, it will provide the hardware and deployment environment, runtime environment, everything it will provide, guys. No need to worry about that one, guys. Okay, right? This is a platform as a service provider from the Google, guys. Okay, Google App Engine. Application we can develop with the help of this Google App Engine, right? Okay, guys, if you went for this Google App Engine, guys, okay, we can develop the application in Java and PHP, and Node.js, Python, C# and .NET. Okay, these are the different runtime environments. Okay, we can develop the application on this platform as a service like these programming languages. We can develop the application with the help of Java, PHP, Python, C# and .NET also. Okay, These are the different runtime environments that is provided by Google App Engine, guys. Google App Engine. Okay, SDK it will provide everything. Okay, automatic scaling and load balancing, guys. Automatic scaling, guys. What is meant by automatic scaling, guys? At any point of time, we can increase the resources. At any point of time, we can reduce the resources also. That we call them as a scaling. Auto scaling means, for suppose, okay, I'm running an application at the okay. Now it is working fine. For some days after that one, the processor capabilities is not at all enough to run that application. At that time, this Google App Engine automatically upgraded to the increased processor capabilities, guys. No need to worry about that. That we call them as automatic scaling. Okay, for some time, at some one point of time, the processor capabilities are more for that application. At the time also, they can reduce that processor capabilities to reduced one, guys. Okay, automatic scaling means that is the point. Okay, depending upon the scenario, the processing capabilities will be scaled. It may be scale up or it may be scale down, guys. Both the things will be happening. That is also automatically. If you went for this Google App Engine, okay, the scaling will be done automatically, guys. Either you can increase it or decrease. That is done internally, guys, automatically. No need to. The next point we have to know is auto load balancing, guys. No load balance. Okay, here I will give you an example, guys. Here, suppose two persons are there, guys. Two persons are there. Okay, examples like I am giving. Two persons are there. Okay, I am having a 4 tasks, guys. Okay, 3 tasks I have given for one person, and only one task is given for the another person. Okay, overall how many tasks are there? 4 tasks are there. Here how many persons are there? 2 persons are there. For one person I have given 3 tasks. Okay, another person I have given only one task, guys. For suppose, okay, 1 minute is over, both are doing that work. 2 minutes is over. Okay, the first person, the second person, that is one task I have given, that person has completed the task. Okay, meanwhile this first person is doing this work. Okay, and the 3 minutes over, 4 minutes over, 5 minutes over, 10 minutes over. Now he has completed that one. Meanwhile, guys, from first minute to 10th minute, the second person is free, guys. The second person is free, guys. Okay, but if you went for this load balancing, means the work will be divided equally, guys. Means how many tasks are there here? 4 tasks. How many persons are there? 2 persons. Okay, equally I will distribute that work, guys. Means I will give first person for 2 stars, the second person for the 2 stars. In this way, the load balancing will be balance the load with the different servers, guys. That is also done with the help of this Google App Engine, guys. Okay, in this way, with the help of this load balancer, we are able to utilize the resources effectively. Okay, we increase the services from the different servers in a effective way, guys. Okay, but because the work will be divided equally. Okay, the work will be divided equally to the different servers, guys. In this way, we will get the services from the different servers or resources, guys, with the help of this load balancing, guys. Right? Okay, guys, understand? Okay, what is the load balancing? Right? Respond me, guys. What is the load balance? You got it? The main task of the load balancer is to balance the load among the different resources. If the work comes, what the load balancer will do? Okay, it will equally distribute the work to the different resources. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, guys, related to the Google App Engine, it uses transactional data store model, guys. Transactional data store model to store the content. Okay, it uses this model, transactional data store model, to store the content, guys. Okay, have a glance on this one. Okay, guys, anything, for suppose we are using this platform as a service from the Google App Engine. Okay, the application developed and hosting those web application will be in the Google servers, guys, not in your physical location. Okay, suppose from here I am working on this Google App Engine for developing one application. Okay, my application that will be saved in the Google server, not in my location, guys. That's the point. Like normal cloud. Okay, the same point also here it will be applicable for the Google App Engine also. Okay, The first release of this Google App Engine was done in April 2018 from Google, guys. Okay, it's a review version, guys. That is the first version. Okay, complete full-fledged version was released on 2010. Okay, after modifications in the application, that is Google App Engine, that is released on 2010, but the first release was on April 2008. Okay, after rectifying the full the errors in that one, in 2010 full version was released. Okay. Okay, I told you guys the cloud computing having this scalability feature, that automatic scalability also applicable to this Google App Engine also, guys. At any point of time, we can increase the resources. At any point of time, we may reduce the resources also. That is also applicable for Google App Engine, guys. Okay. And one more thing, it will automatically allocates the resources for the web application. Okay, if any additional demand, okay, for suppose at any point of time you need the more number of resources, then automatically Google App Engine will allocate those resources for the web application, guys. Okay, at any point of time. Okay, these are the normal features. Okay, those will be included for this Google App Engine also. Okay, cloud means some features will be there, automatic scaling, okay, register recovery. Okay, all these features will be comes under this Google App Engine also. Why? Because this is also one of the cloud service, that is Google App Engine, that is comes under platform as a service. Normal features for the cloud, okay, what are there, that will be applicable for this Google App Engine also, guys. Right? Have a glance. Okay, guys. Let us proceed for the next slide. Okay, why we have to go for this Google App Engine, guys? Why we have to? I told you guys this Google App provide, you can get these services with less cost. Okay, we are having less budget, we can go for this platform as a service. Okay, if you want to develop an application with Java or Python, C#, okay, we can go for this Google App Engine to develop the application in the cloud that is related to the Google, guys. Okay, and it provides the rich set of APIs, application program interfaces. Okay, by using that one, we are able to easily develop the application. Runtime environment, it will provide storage, okay, everything, live communication channels also provided in this app engine, Google App Engine. Okay, guys, this Google App Engine will provide the compute featured like software development for the for developing a software application with the help of this Google App Engine. It will provide the complete support. It will provide the complete support in the form of SDK kit. We call them as a software development kit, guys. It will provide complete thing related to application development, OS, database, okay, runtime, environmental language support, okay, everything, interface, user interface, everything will be provided in the Google App Engine, guys. Okay, right? These are the different silent features of Google App Engine. Okay, these are the different components related to the Google App Engine, guys. Okay, it provides the runtime environment for the application development. Okay, and console it will provide, and it will provide the scalable infrastructure, means hardware parts at any point of time. You can increase the resources and then you can reduce the resources. Okay, automatically it will done, guys. Okay, that is Google App Engine. Okay, depending upon the requirements, okay, depending upon the application requirements, it will automatically scale, guys. Okay, and it will also provide the software development kit, guys. Right, these are the components of Google App Engine. Okay, write it down, this, guys. Okay, guys, these are the things that will be provided by SDK. Okay, software development kit, it will provide the runtime environment and a deployment environment, and that is also provided very easy way. Okay, it will provide the different version of the softwares also. Okay, and it will provide the different application program interfaces for developing your applications, runtime environment and deployment, managing the different versions and APIs, application programming interfaces. Okay, all these will be provided with the help of SDK, software development kit, guys. Okay, if you went for this Google App Engine, it will provide all the things with the help of SDK form. Okay, write it down. Okay, And these are the language supports, guys. Python, Java. In addition to that, C# is there. Okay, these are the different runtime environments that is provided by this Google App Engine. Okay. Previously, we have seen SDK and task. Okay, runtime environments. What are the runtime environments it will provided by this Google App Engine? That is Java and Python. C# is also there, guys. Okay. Resume. So this is the architecture of the Google App Engine, guys. Okay, architecture of the App Engine. It consists of client capabilities, and then what are the services that is provided by this one Google App Engine, and different support services also that is provided by Google App Engine. We are going to see in this diagram, guys. Okay, let us see the each and every component of this one in the next class, guys. Write down this diagram. We are going to end this one now. Okay, we are going to discuss this in the next class.